Judy.
And here with us today is Doc Apr082023. So we are honored and privileged to be here today to interview one of the most promising and ever dynamic school head in the division of Angeles City, despite his busy schedule serving his people and of course making plans for Angeles City National Trade School. It is indeed a great opportunity to know more about our school head and of course his leadership endeavor. So this interview is one of our requirement in educational leadership under Dr. Beatrice G. Torno. And this interview, Sir Elmer, will be recorded for documentation purposes. So once again, we have here our very own Dr. Elmer S. Dirit, Doctor of Education, and of course, the Principal for of Angeles City National Trade School. Good morning, Doc Elmer.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ayan. So, to give people an idea po, Doc Elmer, how long have you been in the service?
I've been in the public school for 23 years now, but used to be in the private school, and I spent around 11 years in the private school.
Wow, 23 years.
Yes.
I do believe that those 23 years of yours in the service have been wonderful, sir.
Oh well, it's like a what do you call this one? A roller coaster ride. There are so many ups and downs. Well, that's part of life.
I also wanted to serve in the Department of Education for many years as well. So, Doc Elmer, we have prepared 10 questions for this interview. To start with the first question.
So the first question, Doc, is what is your philosophy in education?
Oh well, actually, my philosophy in education is patterned from from John Dewey's experiential learning, because I always believe that people learn best from experience. Even adults, even us, we create memorable or rather unforgettable memories through experience, and we learn a lot from them.
Okay, so thank you so much. And I think that was a great philosophy in education. Thank you, Doc. Then let's have
The second question, Doc. What is your leadership style?
Well, I am more of a transformational leader. Although I believe that there is no one best leadership style. Okay, there are many leadership styles that we have in education, but I always believe that for a leader, it should be a combination or a mixture of different leadership style. But as for me, siguro, I am more of a transformational leader. I am into creating valuable and positive change among my subordinates. No? And I want them to become. I try to mold them, no? And develop them into becoming the future leaders.
wow, what
A
an
leader who transforms.
what an extravagant leadership style, and I think I also like that.
Yes.
Is that the same with you, Sir
Yes,
Daniel?
Ma'am Judy.
And you know what? You are an educational management student, no? You are students of educational management. You know, you really have to siguro part of your studies, no? Is the discussion of the different leadership style. But definitely, once you are already a leader, you cannot just concentrate on one leadership style, because especially you have to consider the individual differences of your people. And once you are in an organization, you really have to be flexible and taking into consideration their individual perception, attitude, behavior, in applying your leadership, your kind of leadership style.
Okay, sir. So we will take note of that and we will surely adapt that in the future. So now let's move on with our third question. Sir or Doc, can you tell us about the time you demonstrated leadership skills at work?
Whoa, there were lots actually. But one particular is when I had to face high-ranking officials just to prove a point. And to convince them that what I believe and what I stand for will benefit the learners, the teachers, the stakeholders, and the Department of Education as a whole. No, because you know what, as a leader, you really have to stand with what the organization believes. No? That for as long as you know that it will contribute to the realization of the organizational goals, you have to stand by that. And you can risk everything. You can actually put everything in. You can even compromise your leadership or your personal your personal things. Pero what is important is that you stand with what you believe. And the first and foremost goal, or the most important thing is that you know that what you stand for will really benefit the learners, in particular.
What the best demonstrated leadership by Sir Elmer, and I think I can, or we can do as well with Sir Daniel, that kind of leadership that we had in the school setting.
Yes,
So-
I agree, Ma'am Judy. Okay, so we have another question, Doc Elmer. Which supporting skills do you think are more important for a leader?
Supporting skills like being compassionate. This one is one of the important thing. Say you really have to understand people, and then perhaps dedication to your work. Love your work and be dedicated to that, and then be empathic. Yan ang pinakaano natin. And one more, honesty. No, you have to be. You really have to preserve your integrity. No, especially you are dealing with people, and then respect. Because as we all know, respect begets respect. So, in order for you to get the respect of your subordinates, you really have to respect them as well, to give respect to them. And lastly is serve as you serve as a positive role model to them. Those are the skills that you really have to do or to show to your people.
Yes, no, I also believe that those skills are very important for a leader, and all leaders should have those skills.
Okay, so now let's move on to the fifth question, which is, how do you manage a conflict situation?
Oh, you know what? In an organization, you cannot prevent conflicts from really cropping out from existing, or from really kumbaga, that's already part of an organization, especially if you are handling a big organization. But in my case, I talk to the conflicting parties separately, and then after to listen to them and to get their sides, and then what I do is that after getting their side, I have to assess. I have to validate the data that I gather from them before asking them, to come to the office, and so they will talk face to face. Okay, and I make it a point that when I solve conflict, I always consider their the value of each person, or both of the conflicting party, and making sure that when I decide, or when we resolve the problem, everybody benefits. So it's a win-win solution.
Wow, that's great. I love that, the win-win solution. Okay, so now let's move on to
The next one, what was the hardest decision you have taken as a leader, Sir Elmer? And what helped you to prompt the best course of action?
Very tough, very tough question. Pero siguro the hardest decision that I made was when I was in a situation where I had to choose side between my team and my boss and my superiors. No, it was really a tough decision making for me. Which side I have to favor. But when you are in that situation, you just have to weigh the pros and the cons, making sure that you do not compromise any of the two, especially and even your principles. You do not compromise your principle. Yun na naman ang pinaka-importante when you are in a situation like that. No? Kasi it's really hard to choose one because you know that when you choose one, there are things that you have to sacrifice. So what is important is that you weigh the pros and the cons, you weigh which is really the best side. So ako ang ginagawa ko na lang dyan is siguro yun, magpipray. Yun. Kaya nga yung next question niyo, what was the next question? What helped me prompt to choose the best course of action is that I use my faith in God and my faith to people. Faith in God, it's because when I am in a situation like that, I pray and ask guidance from God so that He will give me the wisdom to choose the best side. And then faith to people, it's because I always I have this confidence to my people that they are responsible and that they are dedicated to their job. So yun na lang ang inaano ko, yung faith in God and faith in people, that these people whom I choose to side with are responsible, are dedicated to the job that they are doing, that they are assigned to.
It's the faith that really works. So now, let's move on to the question number 7. How do you motivate?
Pag nag-ano dito, parang nasa hot seat na.
Okay, let's repeat. How do you motivate an underperforming team member, sir?
Oh, my motivation kasi depends on the root cause of the behavior. I do not have a single motivation. I make it a point that I try to find the root cause of the behavior. Like, let's say, for instance, underperforming. There are many ways, or there are many reasons why a person is underperforming. Let's say, for instance, at times you will see that because they don't have money, so they perform low. O kaya naman is they have problems at home, mga personal problems, family problems, and all that. So in order for me to really help people, especially underperforming people, in order for me to motivate or inspire them, is to know first the real reason or the root cause of the problem before I can think of the best motivation and the best inspiration in order for them to help them to perform productively. So really, it depends on the situation.
Okay, thank you, Doc. I think we should take down notes regarding that.
The next question that we have you ever served in a mentor role, Sir Elmer?
Oh yeah. In my 23 years of service, I always served as a mentor, especially to new teachers. When I was still teacher, I served as a mentor to new teachers because I always believe that teachers should be helped to parang it's a kind of onboarding for them, no? So they need the people, sabihin na natin na this what do you call it? Ako kasi ang tawag sa kanila Jurassic, pero we call them seasoned teachers na talagang that will help them and that will help them understand the job, no, that they the kind of job or the teaching job that they actually apply to. So yun ang importante kasi na you serve as a role model to them, as a positive role model to them, and help them really no, what do you call this? Help them to be not really knowledgeable because pero you help them to easily adjust, no, to the situation. Kasi we all know naman that in the Department of Education, talagang once you are, especially when you are from the private school, no, there is this what we call culture shock thing, no. Kasi it's really very different. So there is really a need for mentors, especially seasoned teachers. Now that I am a principal already, no, I also serve as a mentor to newly installed school heads by making them also again to understand the kind of job, no, and yung mga unleashing their potentials, no. Yun na naman for them to enjoy, no, yung the new world na which they belong.
And I think, Sir Daniel, Doc Elmer is really a catalyst of change in our school.
Yes, indeed. I agree with that, Ma'am Judy.
So now, Doc Elmer, let's move on to the 9th question. Who do you look up to as an ideal leader and why?
Thank God, it's the second to the last question. Well, I really do not look up to a single leader, but I admire Steve Jobs of Apple. I always admire his leadership because if not because of him, no, Apple might be a name of the past. No, but look at Apple now. No, before ang competition niya is nakikipag-compete pa yan sa Nokia. No, Nokia was the best cellphone brand before. And Apple was just a parang second rate. But now look at Apple and where is Nokia, no? And that is because of Steve Jobs. The influence, the inspiration, no, na ginawa niya to the people. Na he never stopped. He did not rest his laurels, no, after coming up with a good model of Apple iPhone, and yet he did not stop. So ako rin naman yun ang gusto ko yung I will not stop until the time na siguro mag-retire ako na to really, no, innovate, to inspire people to do best, no, and to make people unleash, no, their potentials, no, as good leaders, as good teachers. Yun ang pinaka-importante. Para yung hinahanap natin na quality education at yung mga tinatawag natin na yung dinidream natin na learners or graduates who are globally competitive, finally matching na natin.
Yes, thank you for that, Doc Elmer. For me, I also look up to leaders who have contributed a lot of things, especially to his subordinates. For the last question, Doc Elmer, how can you contribute to a positive work culture?
Well, we can contribute to a positive work culture when you yourself is a positive person, is a positive thinker. No? That you see everything, no, as in a light, and you see people na with potentials. They have this that all people have potentials. That there is just a need for a motivation or for an inspiration for them to unleash all these potentials to make them very productive. Yun ang pinaka-importante lang.
Yes, I agree.
And I was wowed based on Doc Elmer's insights regarding all of our questions. And indeed, Sir Elmer is a great leader in our school, because he is not just a leader, he is also a mentor to all of the teachers that we have here, and he keeps on instilling the values and the skills of how a great teacher should be in the future. And with that, thank you so much, Dr. Elmer.
Thank you, Doc Elmer.
Thank you so much. And
allowing
it is
us-
actually an opportunity.
For